So, good evening guys, welcome to another Sunday night P0. It is round 4. We head to, I was about to say Monza, but it's Imola, silly me. And it is the first P0 sprint race of the season, so 80-minute qualifying, and then I think it is 12 laps here, and then on to a 50% race, so plenty of opportunity for the drivers ahead this evening. We'll get a quick rundown of exactly who is where in the championships. We've got Shiv leading the way. In fact, it's a tie at the top. Shiv and Alwyn now joint leaders in the championship, both in 61 points. Then we have Lee and Evans not far away, 4 points behind them, 57. Then Michelando in P4, he's not far off that top 3 either. He's only 5 points away from Leon, he's in P4 and 52. Then we got Matty P5 on 42, Pedro P6 on 41, Dixie P7 on 32, Skarma 8th on 24, Dale P9 on 18, then we've got Laverick and Rob tied 10th, both on 14 points, Jerry on 12 on 13, Chubby Slug P13 and 12, EOJ 14th and 12, Speechy 15th and 10, Jock and Rodders tied 16th on 9, and then we've got Storm P18 on 4 and ENTXG yet to score. So let's get some data up on the screen. And I know from reference, Rob Wills looking very, very strong heading into this evening. So he's my early pick for pole in the qualifying sprint race. Of course, is a bit different, and that is the qualifying for the main race. So let's go on to the chat and see who's here. And it's not going to work, or not going to work. Good evening, Rob and Skarma and Mr. J. I wish you all very well. And who is our lead car? The Red Bull brothers, yet again, taking up some track position. They lead the way in the train. And who's that just behind us? That... Who is that? Is that Jay trying to split the Red Bulls? Is he going to just back off a little bit? Yes, he is. So Jay just going to back off. Let the Red Bulls have a track position. He's got a car just a little bit behind. Let me do some audio adjustment. The cars are blowing my ears out. Okay, maybe it needs to be done on audio in the game. 1 second, guys. I do apologise. Sorry. That is a bit better. So let's go to, I think it is going to be Alwyn leading the way. And he'll be the first man to get a hot lap in at Imola. Long main straight. Oh, it's hardly straight, but you know what I mean. Heading up towards turn 1. How aggressive is he going to be on the curbs on the inside? He's going to just take it easy. Clips his apex, he's lovely. First chicane looking nice and tidy for Alwyn Evans, heading into turn 4 and 5. And the chicanes come at you thick and fast, then up to turn 6. Sector 1 is at 24.8. Tucking it up nice and tight to that apex curb. Turn 6, that allows you to open the throttle nicely. You get a good old run up to turn 7. Then turn 7, then 8 down the hill into turn 9 and 10. Tricky little corner, this rear of the car's always going to fight against you, so you've got to be so delicate in the throttle. Alwyn, no, nice and clean. He picks up over the hill towards 11 and 12, the last chicane of the lap, and just 2 corners left to go, turns 13 and 14. Back it down the hill. 2 90-degree left-handers, so it's just a case of pick your braking and get the car in nice into the apex. Use the curbs on the inside to help rotate the front end of that car around a little bit. Squeeze the power on to the line. Alwyn Evans going to set the pace. It's going to be a 16.7, but where does his brother go? He's on the DRS just behind, and it's a 16.9, couple of tenths splitting the brothers. And who's next to come round? Is that Dale? It's not Dale, it was Shiv. Shiv slits in P3, so 17.9 is the second off the pace. Carmen goes to 17.6, it's 18.0 for Dale. Whereas Michelando, he's got a couple of corners to go. I think we do have Rob Wills out on track as well. Michelando misses his apex in the second to last, or the very last corner there, so he's left some time in the table. So 16.8, he now splits the Red Bulls. And on the first runs, the grid started to look rather competitive. Let's go down to Rob Wills. And I think this is going to be the man setting the benchmark pace in the session. Using all of the track there in between the second last corner and all the track on the exit through the last corner. And here we go, Rob Wills does set the pace. It's a 16.3, 4/10 of a second to the Red Bull boys, and that might be an eye-opener for them. They've been able to control the races, although the Red Bulls, got to remember, on their starts they have been very, very strong. Car frozen in the pits. Oh, that's not very good. And Roddle's, I think, the next man to open the lap, so we'll stay with the Mercedes men. He was on for a really good result last week as well, bar a late incident. And I think we'll give his lap up, just running a bit wide next at turn 4 there. Or turn, yeah, well, through turn 4, 5. Good evening all, hope you're well. Guys, if you haven't already, please drop a thumbs up on the video. It means the world. That Pedro going on a lap or into the pits? He's just going into the pits. Pedro went P5 and he's Aston Martin 17.6, so looking to have some pace in the car. ENTXJ's had a little bit of a moment there. I don't know if he's just getting out of the way of another driver. Roddle's though heading down to the last couple of corners, so we'll stay with him and see where he can slot that Mercedes, although I think he's pretty spent in energy. This might be a second run, so he'll be a little bit off the pace. Oh, and he has a moment off the last corner, and he does really well there to correct that steering and stop the car getting into the wall on the inside. Managed to get it fishtail around and still stop himself nicely to get into the pits. Now on board with Stern, made his debut last weekend, 25.0 sector 1, so he's a couple of tenths off the pace at the top. Still very much in this. Oh, and he's had a big moment in the rear of the cars, went into the wall hard. I wonder if that was some real damage in the car. And you would hope, just hope, that it's able to be repaired. 24.8 for Matty sector 1, so Matty looking right on the pace. He's a driver that very consistent, and he'll just get away with that one there. Now, he knows now when he goes for another run, wherever he goes, there's a couple of tenths in that corner alone, and that's going to pull him a bit wide, and he will pick up the invalidation there. He's just going to get out of the lap as well. Storm into the pits as some of our drivers head out for their second run. And the brothers, the two brothers, they always like to be very close to each other on track. They like... It's a close... Well, of course, the brothers are going to say it's a close-knit team, but that's a bit obvious. But they are very much working together, and it's going to take, I think, one of the other teams really coming together, especially those near the front. Maybe Skarma Speech if they can qualify well, or maybe Jay. Oh, Jay's not got a teammate at the moment. So in terms of constructors, I think Red Bull, red hot favourites. Drivers getting well out of the way, it's good to see. He's half a tenth up in his first sector as Leon. Has to get some more time in sector 2 and 3. Ferrari getting well out of the way. I think that's Luca Lando, good man. And he's nice and through the compression, much more aggressive on the throttle as well through turn 10. So that's probably the best we see him in there. You see he reaps the reward, couple of tenths up now, sector 2. He gets a very good exit, third gear exit off a 12, now downhill towards turn 13. And I think he had some lap time in these last couple of corners as well. Tucks up to a nice apex, not using the curb in the first corner, but he just touches it enough to get that helper rotation, DRS will open and he will improve. He goes to P2, it's a 16.7, 16.6, and he betters his brother by a tenth of a second. But Alan Evans, a couple of corners to go in his lap, is also, I think, just about to improve. I think that's somebody coming towards the line as well. Let's see, Shiv just opening the lap. So let's see where Alvin goes. Oh, he's fell way off the lap. He's going for a second run. So Mika Lando in the Ferrari, 3 tenths up sector 1. So, well, Mika Lando could be right on par with Rob Wilshire, looking very pacey indeed. So Mika Lando, DRS will open. Where can he go? He's going to take pole position. Not quite. It's a 16.395. Rob Wilster leaks it out by 8/100ths of a second. Let's filter down the order. Where is Shiv? He's coming off the last corner. DRS open. Where can Shiv go? It's P8. Still he improves by a couple of tenths. It's not enough. So 17.7 for Shiv. And what about Jock? He's got a couple of corners to go. Bit of traffic ahead. I think they're going to be out of the way just in time though. In fact, he should get a little bit of a tow towards the line. The DRS opens and it's a 17.7 for Jock. He now splits the Alpines. He goes into P9. Oh, EOJ's behind. I'm trying to find out who's the lead car on a lap at the moment. It is going to be... I think it... not so sure. I think it could be Storm. I think Storm is the man on the lead hot lap at the moment. Of course, things have settled down now. Those guys... P13 and below be looking to get their first banker in, and then they'll have one more attempt after this to push for a hot lap. Storm very nice over the cars, but the rear of the cars just drop round. So let's go with Chubby Slug. Just come through sector 1. Evening, Mr. Stephen. I hope you are well. So Chubby Slug off the last corner. It's going to be his first lap of the session. Where can he put that Alpha Tauri? And he goes on to provisional pole. It's a 16.0. He puts 3 tenths of a second. It's been a question debated for a long time. Oh, 100%, Stephen. 100%. I think Matty is on a lap here. I'm going to stay with him. Don't even know why I went off from this. Coming up to a sector split. No, he's 3.6 seconds down, so he's not on a lap. Good evening, Mick. Why are you not racing, Mick? Actually, where are you? So Jay coming up to the line. It's going to be a 16.193 for Jay. Slots in 10th and a half behind Chubby Slug. And Laverick finally got his car out of the pit, so I'm trying to figure out who as well. There's Roddles, he's on an invalidated run. I think the Grits a lot of the front guys took a step this year in P0. And if you look, there's still only 3/10 between the top 4, so it's very, very close. Ah, nice. Fair enough. So, they can before the storm, although I think we've got Red Bulls on what will be the last runs. And Leon is half a tenth up sector 1. Well, you could say the same for Rob and for Chubby Slug and for Skarma. I do get what you're saying. That would be down to us to balance it a bit better, I think, across the tiers. I think with the pace difference, it's hard to anticipate how much of a step every driver takes every game and how many take a step back. But I do understand what you're getting at now. Oh! And... oh, I don't know what's happened there, but... Leon, I think a bit upset because not being able to get the lap time. Yeah, that's exactly, Stephen. It's a strange situation. I think I would really need to get a look. Essentially, like this week, in fact, would be a good opportunity to get everybody's race director from tonight, because we're running Imola this week in HR and OTL, and then kind of compare and just see where the differences are mainly. But as it stands, it seems good competition at the top. So where does Arwen Evans go? His DRS open, can he attack the front row? It's the second row of the grid, 16.3. But still nothing to choose between some of these guys. Dixie coming through sector 2. I think he's one of the lead guys on a hot lap. Wow, ouch, Stephen. Hey, I won Friday. You're not alone. With the sound bug as well. Should be proud of me. I didn't let it bear me. I says, think of Stephen. Stephen would expect more of me with this bug, and I went on. Lost the lead lap 7 and then got it back the very last lap. So Dixie a couple of tenths up. A couple of times we found him a good chunk of position so he could get himself close to that top 6. Very, very tight in the midfield yet again, as always in P0. The top 5, a little bit of a league of their own at the moment. But Dixie off the last corner, it will be his last run of the day. So where can he promote himself to? In qualifying it's P7 for Dixie. It's further down the order, we're on board with Mika Lando. He showed us 3/10 down sector 2, so he's not had the cleanest last run. Chev now improves, he gets P7, pushes Dixie back down. Maybe Dixie's going to try and push on for another run. Arwen Evans' session is over. Where is Chubby Slug coming into the second last? In fact, the last chicane off the lap, heading down the hill. I think Mika Lando's going to be coming in. So let's stay with Chubby Slug. He's got a couple of corners to go. He's 2/10 up. He's finding a monumental amount of lap time in this last run. So he didn't even need the first run, and he's went round, and he is out. And he has gave up what maybe could have been pole position, because Rob Wells is a couple of tenths up. He picks up the invalidation through the last chicane. Oh, and he just had to keep it clean. If there was a tenth more in the last couple of corners, he could have had enough. Don't think Adam's on a lap anymore. He is over for the session, and I think that'll be it. His speed sheet on a lap. He's invalidated his run, and that is it. Chubby Slug, after that big crash off the last corner final run, he still takes pole position by 1.5 tenths to ENTXJ. Then we've got Rob Wells a tenth behind JNP3, Arwen Evans 4, Mika Lando 5, Leon 6, Shiv 8, Dixie Shiv P7, Dixie P8, Laverick 9, Matty rounding out the top 10. Pedro P11, Scamma 12, Jock P13, Dale 14, Speechy 15, EOJ P16, Storm in 17, and Rodos P18. Couple of drivers further at the back there. They never really get pieced up the cleanest lap. I think guys like Storm, Rodos, EOJ, they're definitely half a second at least off where they should be. It's like, Stephen, if you were putting a bet on that in the bookies for Matt to spin, you wouldn't even get a good price for it. It'd be like 1 to 10. It'd be like the odds you would get for Alonso being the GOAT. I'm sorry, I'll never sue you again. I'll never do that. I apologise. Oh. So I've already been given a report. So, Chubby Slug on pole position for the sprint race. So, they can before the start. Sprint races are pretty hectic. So, Mato man, forwarding his words, 1 to 100 for Alonso the GOAT. Am I hungry? Eh, not particularly. Worse car control than me. Come on, Stephen. 1 to 100 for Alonso for the GOAT. Yeah, I'd take that. Easy money. Although I'd need to put £100 on it just to get a pound back. That's a bit depressing. What are you eating, Stephen? What are you feeding me? Hello, Zelena. Who is Zelena? Give me a knuckle sandwich. You say mad dad jokes are bad. Zelena, is this Jay's female counterpart, or am I wrong? Zelena. Am I saying that right? Sorry, Scottish accent's terrible. I do apologise. And is there a formation lap? I'm not sure. It might be. Ah, I see. Particularly, what a word in a Scottish accent. What is Zelena? Or particularly, what is a female? Are you Scottish as well, Zelena? Oh, that's not so bad then. I thought English people usually have a hard time. But if you're Scottish then, Zel, okay. That was for me. What is a female? Stephen, that's because you spend too much time with the boys. A burglar alarm. Why? Why did you want me to say that? Stephen, why? Purple burger alarm. That was easy. Yeah, Mel. Go away. What is like, man? So, timer on. I don't know if we have a formation lap. I'll just need to maybe go in preparation that we don't. So it could be a really climatic start, or the most climatic start to a formation lap you've ever seen. Let's see. I don't know if it tells me on my screen actually. Oh yeah, formation lap, 1 red light, green light, yep. Okay, we're good. So let's get some data, we'll leave it. Oh, let's look at tyres actually, although most drivers I think, oh, a couple taking the risk on the softs over the 11 laps. That's an interesting strategy indeed. So those in the mediums will just need to bide their time. So we've got Jay, Shiv, Pedro, Jock, Speechy and EOJ all opting for that soft compound tyre. Every other driver on the mediums forced onto this. Ouch. Uh-oh. That's not so good. We're just going to need to build a gap and hope that you can... oh, I don't know what you even do here, starting on the soft compound tyre. Row 1 of the sprint race though will be Chubby Slug and ENTXJ. Row 2, Rob Wells and Alwyn. Row 3, Mika and Leon. Row 4, Shiv and Dixie. Row 5, Laverick and Matty. Row 6, Pedro and Scammer. Row 7, Jock and Dale. Row 8, Speechy and EOJ. And row 9, LRE Storm and Rodos. So I think in the sprint, yeah, the medium's the best. The softs will do the 11 laps. The drop off though, the last 4 laps of the race is going to be really difficult. That's it, just jump into somebody else's car. Just take over. Although where's his teammate? Oh, he doesn't have a teammate. Nah. Early safety car of course could allow him to... well, an early safety car would actually allow him to get the softs to the end of the race, so... there's always opportunity. Let's go to Rodders as they all filter down the hill. Lona. Jay, you're getting it bad. So it's all in the start. That run up to turn 1 critical. Chubby Slug and ENTXJ not stopping in time. Rob Wells now gets the advantage in that front starting for Mika Lando. Will get a bit of an advantage as well, but we'll go back as Rodders gets disqualified as well as they all take their place, and then we will have 3 lights, 4 lights, 5 lights in the P0 Imola sprint race. Is away, and for some reason the game's going to enjoy to show us right from the back of the grid, so I've no idea who's got the better start. Come on game, so here we go. It's Jay and Chubby Slug going side by side up into turn 1. Jay and the softs on that outside line should have the better grip, and through he goes, he slips through, and who's that side by side? Arwin Evans and Mika Lando. Shiv now pushing his way up through. Mika Lando's went round some, and there's a monumental crash further back in the order, and there's a cluster of drivers will fall back. Guys now really struggling to piece their way through that, and Rob Wells has been caught up in that one as well. So Rob Wells falls down to the back of the order. I think Pedro got caught up in it as well. Some guys just not able to get out of the way. There's more side by side action further back in the order. Mika Lando falling down. He goes from the front of the grid down to, let me get positions changed, down to P10. He was in P5, but look at Skarma on the medium compound tyre. He's went from P12, managed to get himself up to P5 off the race start, so a very good start for him. But look at the soft tyre, it's starting to do its work now, and it will stretch that lead out for ENTXJ, but he needs to push hard and get the gap as much as possible, because that medium tyre will come into its own window about lap 7 or 8, and the pace difference between a soft that is off and a medium still very good is monumental this year. Jay sets the fastest lap of the race, that's to be expected. First one to cross the start-finish line that first lap, and now Matty has a big old train of cars behind, and now we will get an idea of who's got a bit more wing in the car and who's running a bit more straight line speed. This will be where it's most apparent, and then those with the more wing will get the benefit of that through the middle sector. But the lead 4 up front is ENTXJ from Chubby Slug, Armin Evans and Shiv up to P4. It's been a great start for Shiv in that soft compound tyre. He's just got to keep his head down. Of course, DRS will enable next time around, and that will give drivers even more opportunity. But this train behind Matty, I think, is going to yield a lot of opportunity for drivers. And who's willing to take the most risk? Of course, you have a 50% race coming up, so it's a risk reward. Do you go for extra positions at the start of that 50% race, or do you hope that being back here actually for the start of the 50% and something like that happens further up in the order, then it could be better? Dixie parking his car in the middle of the road, not allowing Mika Lando to make any form of moves. He thinks about down the inside, but Dixie very good on the brakes. As Chubby Slug now sets the fastest lap. Let's go to this fight here, because Chubby Slug is all over the back of Jay, and I think the battle for the lead is absolutely on. And surely not. There's no way Jay's feeling the soft tyre already. So maybe just had a bit of a moment. But Matterman looking very cool and collected at the moment. And we've got a yellow flag, sector 1, who's that? Is it Speechy going round? I think it is. In the Alfa Romeo, Rob Burrows will pass back to it was Speechy indeed. He'll get up on track and he'll fall just behind EOG in P15. But I think we're about to see a lead change. And it's Jay. Now, this could be a strategy from Jay. Sitting behind Matterman could be the better play. Get pulled along with the medium. He can give up a bit of lap time, but you're getting pulled by the DRS, which might give him some longevity in his soft stint. Because ideally he wants to just take this tyre the distance. He cannot afford to pit. Because if he was to pit at the moment, he's going to come out. Well, let's look at the gap to the leader. I mean, he's coming out P12, 13. The DRS, here we go. Matterman's going to push on through. He'll go to the racing line and round outside into turn 1. One second, chat. I will be back as this battle continues. So, apologies chat, I had some issues with my son. And I assume Chubby Slug has had a moment, as him and ENTXJ had a moment. Oh, So that's interesting. Alban Evan then leads the way with 5 laps to go. Chevy in P2, Skarma up to P3 on his medium compound tyre. How is Matty going? He's still got that train of cars behind him, but opportunity arising for some of the drivers further back as Shelby Slug, ENT, Rob Wills, Mika Lando, the biggest losers of the race. Dale into the pits. Is that some damage he's picked up? You certainly don't want to be taking a pit stop with 4 laps to go in the race. You want a takeaway? Yes, do it. So the gaps between the leaders have opened up, so I think this is the battle back here. It's the Dixie, Chubby Slug, Laverick and Matty fight. And is Dixie going to look for one up the inside? Turn 6, he certainly thought about it. Matterman's going to try and go the long way, but Dixie surely covers that one off. Or they will get through on the inside. Or the outside, and through goes Matterman back up to P6. Probably got a warning there as well for good measure, so that'll be something he'll need to be aware of as he falls deeper into the race. Matterman making all the moves at the moment. And it's a shame I never had commentary on that moment, chat. I am very, very sorry, but the kiddies have to take priority. So here we go, Chubby Slug on the energy. Gear changes were a bit strange there. But through he goes, on the inside. And they're going to stay side by side actually into turn 1. But Matterman will outbrake Laverick, and you want to be careful in the curbs because Laverick now will look to the outside line. But Matterman able to hold him off. And look at Dixie now trying to have a look at Laverick. Laverick just cuts that line off for now, and this train continues on. What takeaway were you getting, Stephen? That is the question. It's Laverick now compromised a little bit at turn 10. Can Dixie capitalise on that? Not quite, but he has filled out the DRS window, so this could be Dixie's opportunity to get through up into turn 1. The only question is, has he got enough pace in the car to push through and stay on to the back? Although Laverick getting himself close to that DRS window again, although I think he is just outside it. And Mika Lando has another moment in the race. He's now been closed to tail by speech as they head down towards turn 11. Oh, Chinese food is banging. I had 2 last week. Or this week, sorry. And Dixie not able to get through. He's absolutely spending the energy. But here he's got a much better exit. Oh, and they've got to be careful there on the run through 3. And picks up a needless penalty there. He was just... He needs to just settle himself down. Let's watch Chubby Slug and Matty just ahead. Any action coming off these two? And here we go, we get on board just in time as they're going to go side by side. Down the hill through 9 and 10, and Matterman smartly there backs out it. But I think Matty is going to struggle here to hold him behind in this DRS front. Matty could use this though, he's 1.4 ahead, couple of laps to go. In fact, they're just going on. They've got 2 laps to go. So, he could use Chubby Slug to try and break his penalty, get him finished P4 here, which I think would be smart. Here goes Chubby Slug, DRS open. Through on the inside line, he'll be clearly ahead before the braking zone. And through goes Matterman. Now the question is, can they break the gap? And for good measure for Matty, Dixie has got through on Laverick, so although Laverick coming back through into turn 4, they're going to go side by side. This is good racing. Oh, and the door shuts over and Dixie on the inside to turn 4, and he is stopped facing the wrong way. Just going to have to let the traffic go through. And he will pick it up in P10. So let's go to our race leader. And the Red Bull, one of the Red Bulls somehow, the pairing. Nah, that's also a fair point. But I think Adam is more than entitled to, although Laverick, I guess, was back ahead before the entrance into the corner. It's, yeah. There's a understeer central corner as well, so. But is there going to be any more overtakes near the end of the race? Could we see Mika Lando get through and Rob Wells? I think he could be. Here comes Mika, DRS open on the defending champion. And it's going to be a nice simple DRS pass in the end, up into turn 1. Oh, and Dixie's out! Oh, he's retired in the pits. Why has he done that? Why did he retire in the pits? Oh no, maybe not. Oh no, he did. I'm intrigued. I want to find out exactly why he retired in the pits. I'm unsure. Here comes Arwen Evans, he's going to round the final corner, and the first sprint season is going to go to the Red Bull boys. Arwen will take the win for the Imola sprint. Shiv, the seemingly impossible task on the soft compound tyre, brings him home for P2. It's a great result for him. Skarma as well, with another solid podium in OTL. And Chubby Slug not a million miles away there. He recovers back to P4. Matty will get P5. Laverick P6. ENTXJ. Oh wait. Oh, he's got a puncture. He's lost the left rear, and that's going to allow Mika Lando to slip through into P7. Robles into 8. ENTXJ needs to get the car coming. Dale's going to get through. Is there going to be any more to capitalise? And you see, he just cannot put the power down the car. Oh, he's got both left side tyres burst. And round he goes, and he's across the line eventually. LRE Storm comes home in P11. Leon Evans P12. 13 for AOJ, 14 for Speechy. Rodders 15. Dixie will fall to P18, and Pedro come home P17. So well done to Arwen, Shiv and Skarma. They are our podium men for the sprint race. Can't really call them a podium, it's not a podium. We'll call them reef men. So JJ's puncture central. He's really struggling. Balkan diffuser rear. Oh no. So, on to the feature race we go. Hopefully the guys do not ready up. Oh, you never get a wing change, Jock? That's a bit grim. Shiv was scared of the puncture, and Shiv got the puncture, not in one but two tyres as well. Highly, highly unfortunate. So, the chem before the long game. Game is broken, making mediums a mandatory to retire type. It is that is the mandatory tile, no? That's how it is, I thought. Well, it's not mandatory, in fact you can do hard soft in the race. You don't need to use the medium tire, Shiv. There must be something crazy going on, because that is a lot of blue lights going past my house recently. Oh, I think that's just been a bug then. Oh, right. Yeah, I think you've just... yeah, of all the bugs you get, that one's really unfortunate. Who's hard drive? Wait, ton of it. Who's a mutant, Stephen? I'm confused. He's such an up and down man. 1 minute very happy, 1 minute very angry. Do you get constipated a lot or something? Does that make you grumpy? Alright, oh yeah, alright, okay, that bit of a thick moment for me. I do apologise. So, timer on the screen, of course, another formation lap to come. Do you have to pit in the sprint? No, speak to you. You don't. So let's have a look at the tyres. So, Skarma, Laverick, Storm, Leon, EOJ, Speechy and Jock all on the medium compound tyre. Every other driver on the hards. And the hards, a tricky little tyre to get fired up in the early phases of the race. So, those in the mediums, watch them attacking those ahead. Skarma could be in the lead kind of by turn 4. Maybe beyond. But of course, that's if he's given space to get through. So row 1 of the Imola sprint race for P0 will be Albin and Shiv. Row 2 Skarma and Chubby Slug. Row 3 Mate and Laverick. Row 4 Mika Lando and Rob Wills. Row 5 Dale and Ian TXJ. Row 6 Storm and Leon. Row 7 EOG and Speechy. Row 8 Rodders and Pedro, and row 9 Jock and Dixie. Now it's all about tyre prep, bringing them up into that window. You want to have them nice and hot for the start of the race. If you don't, you could be in big trouble. So, let's stay with Dixie. He'll be the last man to take his grid slot, although it never seems to work that way now with the self-mechanism. A really big thing to need to toilet. But we will wait it out. As Dixie comes up to take his grid slot, 32 laps ahead. Oh, and he's massively overshot the grid slot there. So we will watch now from Albin Evans, and I don't even know what way Jock was facing, but there's Albin. It's 3 lights, 4 lights, 5 lights, and we'll go on board because it's going to be better. The P0 feature race is away now. Who gets the better start off the front row? It seems pretty even between Albin and Shiv. But look at Skarman, that major compound tyre. He gets the launch he was looking for, and he's going to come to attack Shiv. Shiv will defend the inside line. Now Sharma going to try and attack round the long way. Shiv will cover that off, and through he goes, and there's been a big spin behind. And Chubby Slug, I think, has went round. Has all drivers managed to avoid that? I think they did. It's created a bit of a gap between Mate and Mika Lando's. ENTSJ pushes his way through the field as well. He's up to P6. We've got Dale up a few positions as well. In fact, let's go to position changes. Laverick's managed to gain 4. Leon has managed to gain 4, sorry, Laverick and Rob Wills. A couple of the losers there. Chubby Slug, of course, falling to the back of the field. That hard tyre, very difficult in the early phases of the race. And of course, that has been costly to Macho Man. So Skarma, can he stay with Alwyn? He's going to have the better tyre over the first 5 to 10 laps of this race. Can he even push through and start to take control at the front? So, here comes Skarma, he's on the energy, and he's coming on the attack, it seems. Or maybe not, he's just going to back off it there, and Laverick into the pits. Has that been early damage? I think it could have been. And it's shown some very strange things as we see Dixie having a look at Speechy. He's on that hard compound tyre, so looking pretty comfortable at the moment. He'll come for the cutback here. Is he going to get on the energy and try and get up alongside? He is, and through he goes. Good race in there, but there goes the other one, the cutback now into turn 6. He'll have the outside line to work with, and that's a good bit of racing here between Dixie and Speechy. They go side by side on the run up to turn 7. Now it's all about who's brave enough to keep themselves in it. Speechy's still there as well, and Adam off track a little bit, but I think that's fair enough. Couldn't really do much about that, and through he goes. Now up 8 positions from the back of the grid. Mika Lando now on the charts. We're going to see a move down into turn 13. No, he's going to get out of that one. Not able to capitalise. And who's that? Had a moment. Is that Jock? Yes, it is. I thought that may have been Dixie there. There's Urban Evans, the fastest lap of the race. He's starting to make a break now on Skarma. And really pushing these guys into using a bit of energy further behind. Mate looks the best set driver at the moment inside the top 4. Mika Lando a little bit down in energy as well, but he's still looking much better than Skarma and Shiv as Mataman sets the fastest lap of the race. C starts to bring his tyres into the window. And now the train forms. Who's that? Is that Chubby Slog? Has he had another moment? No, it's EOJ this time. Bad day in the office for the Alpha Tauri boys. And this little battle here, for that last, somehow in P0, there always seems to be a big old chunk of drivers fighting for that last step in the podium. And it's just about who can gain most, and there's a lapped car getting out of the way. Here comes Mate, on Shiv. Through he goes, and look at the overspeed, the straight line speed in that Mercedes is absolutely bonkers there from Mate. Easy passes up into the podium positions. And continue, they go. We got a yellow flag at the back of the grid. Who's that for? I think that's Lava coming out in the pits. I think that's just an AI car. And now it's can Dixie catch up with the pack ahead. And look at this train of drivers behind Matty. We've got P3 to P8 all in a battle here, and this is where it becomes hard for the guys like Dixie, Speechy, those kind of sitting in a pocket of clean air, not in the DRS of those in front, not behind. It's very hard to catch up with those in the train because they're just lapping at a quicker pace because of that DRS. I think Chubby Slug there has another moment, and Mika Landers went round, and I think ENTXJ maybe caught up in that one as well. He's going to be pounced upon in that run up the main straight as Rob Wills now gets through, but ENTXJ is going to try and fight this one back. He's going to keep the car on the outside line and try and force his way around the outside, but Rob Wills with the car positioning fends him off for now, and ENTXJ seemed to be poor off the last corner. I'm not quite sure what happened there. I don't know if Mika Lando's moment or they had her coming together, and he's just had to get out the throttle, which has allowed drivers. No, Jock, I never seen you retired. That's unfortunate, man. So the gaps at the front open up. Skarma still be looking to get a good chunk of laps on these tyres yet. So all this battling is for the back in the grid. This is where it's at. This last spot in the podium is hotly contested by a good cluster of drivers. Well, we see Leon be able to push through on Shiv here as well, because Shiv absolutely no energy. Leon setting the fastest lap of the race, so he's in a comfortable spot, and look at the straight line speed difference. Just with having that energy to work with, it makes the overtaking so much easier. But Shiv going to look to come back at Leon here. Here he comes, but Leon will use a bit of energy and he's able to defend that off. He'll cover off the inside line. I thought Shiv was going to try and walk the car into that outside line position, but chooses against it this time around. Probably smart of him as well. He just wants to stay behind, although clipping the grass like that is really going to compromise the work you're trying to do. Dixie falling away a little bit from this pack, but if these guys start to fight, opportunity can easily come back towards them. Look how close it is between Shiv and Rob and ENTXJ. EOJ now sitting the fastest lap of the race. He's got a bit of clean air, he's got onto the soft compound tyre, trying to recover some of his lost time back, and doing a very good job of that, sitting the fastest lap. Oh, and ENTHG's went for a big dive into the second to last corner. And Rob Wills is looking for that cutback. ENTHG shot deep a little bit in the brakes. And he ends up in the gravel. And that now will slowly but surely help Dixie pull his way back into that fold. If he can just find a bit of lap time. He's found a second back. And all he needs to do is tag onto a bit of DRS and he will get pulled back into the fight. Who else further down the order? What's happening back here? Storm running pretty comfortably. He's on his medium tyre, he's about a second off his starting pace, which is probably about right for the tyre wear. Running a comfortable P14, of course. Any safety car comes for these guys in the medium compound tyre in the next, even the next 8 laps. They have a very, very good opportunity in this race, so you just got to keep your head down. Push on through. Do it, Stephen. Do it. What would you get from the Chinese? What were you thinking of? So here comes Leon and Matty. We're going to see any overtaking? I don't think so. DRS is open and Rob Wills will go through on Shiv. Round the long way into turn 1. Another pretty simple DRS pass. Well, I know you... Well, you animal of a man. So Rodos picks up a time penalty and the first one of the race so far. And now will we see something come of this battle ahead? They're very even on energy. Now here comes Leon Matty, of course, got the DRS and is he going to be able to attack Skarma here? Maybe the medium tyre just getting past his best. He's going to go for a big move into the inside, but chooses just to get out it. And not quite able, but Matty starting to look a bit punchy. Leon's dragging the medium stick out pretty well, actually. He's doing a good job. And what's happened to ENTHG? See another moment, because Dixie's now through on Jay. He's up to P7. 2.5 seconds off this battle for P3. Oh, and Rob Wells, he's went round. He has lost it at turn 9. And Speechy will get through as well. There'll be a bit of ghosting as Laverick, or Pendle, sorry, also gets through, and Rob. And now Chubby Slug will get through as well. Oh, it's a DC. No. What the hell? Are you able to get back in, Rob? I can't invite either. No drama, man, that's horrible. Skarma and Matty now do battle, and Matty appears to have got through on Skarma, but here comes Leon Evans. He's coming for a piece of this now. They're going to go side by side into turn 3, Leon and Skarma. And who gets the better of that? Bit of wheel contact, and Skarma fends off Leon this time. You can't get back in. Wow. Yes, you can see tiles, of course you can, sir. There you go. Well, what happens there? It's not. Man, that's awful. That is ridiculous, I don't understand. And your eyes are on the soft tyres, even if you can get back in, it'd be... wow. That is hurtful. And Shiv has now got back through in Dixie, and I think these guys might be leapfrogging each other, maybe a little bit of working together to try and close in on Shiv. Oh, and LRE Storm is out. Oh, that's in the pits. He's backed out of it. And is Dixie going to come for the move? And Jay's making huge gains up into turn 1. But not making the move this time around. So let's watch this fight, because I think this is still brewing. This one, Skama's tyres maybe starting to struggle a little bit. He seems to be in the back foot in compared to the drivers round about him, but he's hanging in there. Doing what he needs to do for his race, which is exactly right. Now will we see Leon push to get through? In fact, he's got a much better exit off the last corner, and he'll be alongside even before the DRS, so this is going to help him close right up to Matty and maybe even find enough time to get close to that DRS range for the next lap around. Skama will hang on well, he's got some good straight line speed in that Alfa Romeo. Shiv now in the hard compound tyres as well. His stint will be starting to come to him. These guys in the mediums are really starting to be feeling the tougher side of the grip. I'd probably only expect him to do about another 2 or 3 laps on these tyres. Those on the mediums. And look at this, Dixie and Jay, they are very gamey. They are right up into this battle. Whatever they've been doing working together, they've found a chunk of time. And they've got right up to the Shiv Skama fight. Dixie picking up a penalty in his travels though, which is not so good. He wants to be careful there. Going to use a bit of energy. Can Shiv get through and Skama? Not close enough. And I think that could be a lapped car in between. Maybe ELJ here. Rejoined, no games. Wow. Ah, what? If you can see this out, Rob, you're a madhead. So here comes Leon and Matty, and Leon, his medium tyre is just not looking phased at all. He's in a very good place. Happy to continue on in his stint as well, and here comes Shava. Look at the straight line speed here through on the inside line. He goes on. Oh, and there's been contact there in Shiv. He's been pushed all over onto the grass. ENTXG now will be able to capitalise on that. And here comes himself on Scammy. He'll go to the inside line into turn 3. And through he goes now. Scammy now coming under the attack again from Shiv. He'll look to the inside line at turn 6. It's not there for him, and Dixie now right back in this fight. We're doing positions not far ahead up the road. Yeah, I felt that as well, a little bit. I did feel that's how rude my initial reaction was there, Stephen. And if you're saying that about Paul, then it's got to be true. As Matterman picks up a time penalty for multiple warnings. I think that's his first of the race. Well, let's go back to this fight, because I think we could see Leon. He seems a bit closer this time, but Matty, I don't know what kind of straight line speed he's got in the car, but it's pretty insane. Scarman out into the pits. He's on to his hard compound tyre, but he's one who only stopped for the race. So it's hards to the end. We're almost at the halfway point. And the battles are still brewing. The midfield fight has been very, very good today. Look at Leon on his medium compound tyre. The lad's insane. Alan Evans leading the way. Not really spoke much about him, but he's 8.5 seconds. Once, that's the thing I've noticed about these guys. Once they get into that lead position, they seem to kick into another gear, and their race pace is phenomenal. They split the strategy as well. I think that's so they don't trip each other up. But Leon is looking just as fast as the hard compound tyres at the moment. And here he comes in Matty, and I think this could be the moment. Is he going to get close enough for the move? And he's just not going to take any risk. And this is what we've seen over the first few rounds in the season, especially with the Red Bull guys. They're just not taking a lot of risk. Although now Leon looks to the inside of turn 4, but again, just gets out it. And not willing to really get himself in anything too dangerous. Look at this train of cars now forming. From Shiv to Chubby Slug, EOJ picks up a time penalty for multiple warnings. They watch through the hail while Matterman down into through turn 9 into 10. One of the trickiest parts on the circuit. And there goes Leon, he's into the pit, so here he goes. He'll go into that hard compound tyre. We'll go to the tyres actually now, and we'll get an idea of where everybody goes. Should be pretty simple though. On to the hards for Leon. Where is he going to come out? He should come out. He's going to be very close to Pedro actually. So Pedro will get ahead. And that shows you how closely contested that midfield fight's been. He's a long way off that fighting group now. Oh, and Shiv has a moment next at turn 6. Probably gets the car back over onto the racing line though. Covers off any move from Dixie. And look at Mikel Lando all over the back of Dixie now as well. And Adam, that weaving, he's getting him under pressure. And is Mikel Lando going to come for something down into turn 13? He chooses against it. And here we go again up the main straight. And I think this time Dixie is going to get through and shift, so here we go. He'll look to the inside, sweep back to that racing line, and round the outside he goes. Through turn 2, nice and clean right, and now can Lando get through and shift, although Shiv's going to look for the cut back here, and he'll come to the inside line into turn 4. And look at that for racing between the two there. They'll stay side by side through 4 and through 5 all the way into turn 6. Dixie on that higher line. Shiv's going to leave him space. There's a bit of wheel banging, but that's fair enough. And now up to turn 7 they head. And Shiv's trying to keep his nose in there, but Dixie eventually fends him off and gets through into P4. But Shiv, of course, still in that penalty gap. He has none himself. There's a lot of opportunities. He has a big rear snap from absolutely nowhere there. That was very, very strange. Through turn 10, but still manages to collect it up nicely. And he will stay on the back of Dixie for this battle to continue for yet another lap. Let's go further back. Chubby slug out in his fresh medium tyre. Lando hit him. Hit who? Shiv? I don't think so, because Lando was off quite a chunk behind. Oh, and Dixie, he's got a 5-second time penalty for speeding in the pits. No, and that will add insult to injury. He's been having a very good race as well. Into the pits he goes, he'll go into that fresh medium club of talent. It's going to be interesting compared to Marto, man, where exactly he goes. Oh, did he? I did not even see that. So there it is. Dixie up ahead. And Mato Man is going to be able to snake through. And I think Adam's very indecisive there. I think he should have slammed that door shut. Chubby Slug got through in Skarma. Skarma picks up a time penalty for multiple warnings. And now it's ENTXJ leading the way, Shift P2 and Lando 3. But Alvin Evans steaming on through now on his medium compound tyres with 12 laps to go. He is well within that leader's window. In fact, he'll have a nice chunk of an advantage. Now, are one of the drivers thinking about stretching these hard compound tyres to about lap 24 and going to the soft compound tyre at the end? As Pedro's in, onto a fresh medium compound tyre, and away he goes. And he's got a good comfortable margin now. Oh, let's go to that, a good comfortable margin between the two. Drivers behind, and I think he will come out on front. Maybe not, actually not as comfortable as I felt, and speaks he's not going to get involved in that. Rob Wills gets through and Pedro will come out right behind him. He's on that fresh medium compound tyre, so he just needs to bring the tyre up and he could be in that fight. But what's happening further ahead, we still get this Leon Evans Mate battle. It's been on for the full race, it just will not stop. They've absolutely hounded each other for the full 21 laps pretty much. And, oh, that's Lando into the pit, so he's on to his fresh medium compound tyre. And Dixie goes through on Skarma. Chubby Slug sets the fastest lap of the race. Where does Lando come out? He's going to be behind Chubby Slug. I think he may be behind the Dixie Skarma battle as well here. Dixie will get through no problem, as will Skarma. And of course on the nicely warmed up tyres, it will not be an issue for them to get on through. So our 3 leaders yet to pit. Let's actually look at pit stops. Our top 2 yet to do a pit stop. We got 8.6 seconds. And are they going to try and take these to the soft compound tyre? I think that's the plan. I think they want to try and stretch the hards out. And go onto the soft compound tyre for maybe the last 8 laps of the race, which I think is more than enough laps. You're not going to smash the soft tyre. They should do the 8 laps, no problem. This Chubby Slug picks up maybe another penalty. Let's actually have a look at penalties. How many have they all got? It's 6 for Chubby Slug, 8 for Adam, 3 for Skarma, Mika, Pedro, and then 8 for Speechy, 9 for Rodders, and 9 for EOG, Rob Wills, Leon, Matty, Arvin, Shiv, and ENTHA. The only drivers on field at the moment without penalties. Is that somebody having a moment there? Maybe not. So let's stay with Leon. And who's that? Oh, Chubby Slug. He's had a big moment through turn 2. And he falls further down the order. Fair enough, Rob. I respect it. So, Shiv into the pits. Now, ENTXJ. Oh, it's a medium tyre for Shiv. Oh, that's interesting. So where does Shiv come out? Is Dixie and the light's going to get through? And I think they might just here. I think Dixie will jump Shiv. Bounce off course, got all the penalties. Does Mika Lando get through? Yes, he does. And Dixie needs to try and drive away. Needs a gap. At least of 5 seconds to Mika Lando. So he needs to find 4 seconds of track time. Try and pull away. But this is the battles for the last step on the podium. And of course ENTXJ still to pit at the moment. But I think he still comes out a comfortable P4. And in comes the leader. Alvin Evans will retake control of the race that he led from pretty much the start. And will Matty even get through here? I don't think he will. I think that shows the kind of pace ENTXJ's had. Matty and Leon may get through, but ENTXJ's coming out on a fresh, soft compound tyre. And with a load of energy. So ENTXJ is going to come and join this fight any moment. We've had a moment further back. Is that Slug? Yes, it is. He's had another spin and Mika Lando all over the back of Dixie. I think this is going to be the fight, and now does Leon want to clear Matty ASAP? Because his podium's really at risk. And not only Matty, but also ENTXJ. Oh, and there's a big moment. Chubby Slug, is he round? I don't think it's going to be a safety car. No, we will continue on. Let's go back to this fight here. Leon Evans looking much closer to Matty now. Matty a little bit deep into 13 and massively misses the apex at 14. So this is Leon Evans' opportunity to strike. But ENTXJ is absolutely on the pounce. He's got a load of energy compared to these guys. Let's go on board with Leon though. As he swoops to the outside line, he runs out of energy, so it'll be pretty much a drag race into turn 1. They'll stay side by side. Leon Evans will brave on the brakes and through he goes into turn 1. And now ENTXJ is all over this fight as Michelando gets back through in Dixie. But where does J come into the fold here? Is he going to take a lot of risk here? Is it a risk worth taking? He's got a load of energy so he can get pushy at certain parts of the circuit, but maybe the guys on the other tiles just won't find any benefit. Oh, and straight away ENTXJ is going to really slip down the inside of Matt. He'll use the energy and through he goes, down through 9 and 10. And I think Leon will be easy pickings for ENTXJ. Off the last corner he goes. DRS enabled on the energy and through he will go into P2 in the race. 6 laps to go. How much can he take from the driver in front? So it's pretty much calm now in the race. I think now that ENTXJ has got through and Leon will probably just hang on to the back. He's cleared a good gap on Matty. Oh, and there's a yellow flag. Is that somebody out? It's Pedro. No, he's not out. He's just had a moment. This Chubby Slug sets the fastest lap of the race. So Michelando, Dixie and Shiv could be set to do battle once more in the race. Of course Shiv will get the better of the race too, so a P5 for a championship leader, which I think would be a good day in the office. But Jay of course will get himself right into the championship fight. But I think Shiv, oh no, he won't, he'll lose the championship lead of course because Arlen Evans looks set to win the race. 5 laps to go. And the only different question could be, does Jay's tyre become a factor? I don't see it though with the amount of laps he's left to do. Getting a soft tyre, can see that out, no issue at all. We got yellow flag, sector 2, who's that? It's a Mercedes. Oh, what's happened there? It's Matty. Oh, and he's had a big moment. The wing is off the car. And he falls down the order. That puts Michelando up to P4. And will just be a much better day of course for Shiv, because a P4 for Shiv against his championship protagonist or contender Alwyn, as it stands, I think is a very, very good result. So what's happening further back? Any gaps that are close, everything is absolutely opened up now, so there is literally no DRS fighting on the circuit. So I guess we can go on board with our race leader. These Red Bull boys as well, nothing seems to faze them. They can qualify poorly, or maybe they were happy with the qualifying, but I think from what we've seen from them, they maybe feel that they could attack the front row. But it doesn't even matter because the damage they can do in the race, these first 4 races in the season, has been unpalpable compared to any other driver. The way they're able to just keep their head down and stay out of trouble and just pump consistent lap times. They're very good on ERS management. Alwyn especially, he is certainly laying down a marker in the early stages of the championship. Shiv's consistency is keeping him in there, but I think every opportunity he gets to try and one up Arwen or Leon, he needs to absolutely jump on that. Rodders, oh, and ENTXJ there nearly has a moment. So are the soft tyres just getting past their best? Arwen Evan leads away, ENTXJ P2, Leon P3, Michelando 4, Dixie P5, Shiv 6, Skarma 7, Dale P8, Chubby Slug P9, Rob rounds out the top 10. Got a little over 3 laps to go. And I think Arwen looking more than comfortable to take home the race victory here tonight. And yet another in the season. He will finally take full control of the championship. And their eyes are firmly set on the long game in the season as well. That's what I think's got to be worrying for some of the other drivers, the way the Red Bull, Arwen and Leon are going about their business in the early part of the season. If they're being this quick when they're not taking risk, how much faster can they be? And then when they really turn it up to try and lay the pressure on in the second half of the season, can they be stopped? That's the question. Close to only a quarter of the way through. There's a lot of races left to go, but the early marker has most definitely been laid. Now Shiv's going to have to find a bit of track time if he can, if he wants to pinch that P4 back. Otherwise he'll only get P5. Dixie's safe for top 6 as it stands, with Skarma behind. And then there's some big old gaps to those behind, so... And now Shiv has picked up a time penalty. So either way now, I think Shiv is destined to P5. So that'll be good news for Arwen. Is Mika oh, and who else is that? Who else is round? Mika and who? Who was that? No, I think it's Rodders, Mika and Rodders, both for a moment, and now Dixie takes over P4 and Shiv's P4. Now looks back on, out of absolutely nowhere. Mika's had a moment off the last corner, he falls down to P6. He'll still hold P6. Comfortably so, but that is not the time you want to be having an incident or a moment. With only a couple of laps to go, it's very, very hard to recover from that now. And Shiv looking much closer to Dixie now. So Shiv maybe hunting. Yeah, I could agree. I could agree. He's up 14 positions. He's had a very good day in the office for the back of the grid. He's going to finish P5. But penalties aside, yeah, I think it's a thoroughly deserved one today. No safety cars as well, so he's had to drive the car there on good strategy. I think all the more reason. As we're now on to the last lap of the race. Arwen Evans in the second sector for the very last time. And who is going to stop the Red Bull charge? Somebody's going to have to do something eventually, because if they're left to their own devices in races, they're looking very, very hard to beat. And I mean, he's coming home with 80% energy. I think that says everything you need to know. That is a man knowing he just has to cruise home, and he's got one corner to go. He's going to do it again in P0, and he will take the checker flag for the feature race at Imola. ENTXJ will come home. What's going to be a hearty P2 in the end, although Leon Evans out of nowhere has got all over the back of him. But ENTXJ will fend them off. He will take P2 and finally scores some solid points in the championship. Leon Evans P3, Dixie's going to bring home P4, but I think he'll fall to P5, but does enough to maintain the gap with Mika's moment. He will hold P5 from the back of the grid. It's a very good day for Dixie. Mika gets P6, Starma P7, Dale will come home a solid P8 for Dale. Again, he's scoring consistently top 8s recently. It's a very, very good day in the office for Dale. Chubby Slug is going to get P9, and I think after the penalties, Rob may actually jump him here. He does, so Rob gets P9, even with no audio. Is 10 for Chubby Slug. No, 10 for Matty. Chubby Slug gets 11, Speechy P12, Pedro 13, AOJ P14, and Roddles will come home in P15. So let's actually wait till Roddles finishes. We'll go on board, let him take the checker flag, and Roddles will wrap up the Imola Grand Prix. And Dixie gets the driver of the day from the game. I think that's very thoroughly deserved. I think from the Comsbach as well. Despite the penalties, like Stephen said in the chat, I think are very, very thoroughly deserved, and he would get it from me as well. Not because they're any affiliation, but no safety cars to drive to a P5, I think it's a good effort. But Arlen Evans is the man of the moment yet again. There it is, he takes the win. And was that the double? Did he do the double? I think he did, right? He did. So he gets at the sprint. Hey, Rob, P12, I think, with no audio. Or P10, sorry, or P9. I think it's a good day in the office. Let's get Alwyn, ENTXJ, and Leon Evans in for a chat. G. Have I got Alvin in there? I don't think so, so let's do this. Alvin and Leon. There we go. We'll get 3 of them in. It's a very good effort, Adam. I know, Dale, you've been performing very well. Take a lot of confidence out of your performances recently. I think if you can just clean up the quality and get a nice solid lap in, I think there's a really good opportunity for a guy like yourself. So it's a good turn up for the books. Did everybody join? Did we get everybody in at once, sir? Oh, no, we're waiting for it. So Alvin Leon will wait for ENTXJ. There he be. And we will start with... Oh, there's an echo. Let's go with you, Leon. P3 in the feature. I can't even remember back to the sprint. There was that much things happening. Where did you finish in the sprint firstly? I think P5? P4? Oh. So, P3. I was saying it in the stream, use Red Bull, guys. It doesn't seem to matter. Qualifying is irrelevant to use, really. Or sprint race, it doesn't matter. Because somehow in a race, you find a way to get both of the cars very comfortably to the front of the grid in these races. Yep.
So both those attributes, and it's made a hell of a difference. Cycling up the front of the grid, and it's quite nice finally to be able to fight for podiums.
So did you want more out of that, Leon, or from starting P12 and off the sprint race? Were you eyeing a podium at the start of the feature race, or were you just kind of like, you knew there was probably a handful of positions in the race, just see where you get to and not take, because you don't seem to be taking a lot of risk, and it's giving you so much reward.
Yeah, well, I know I had a good pace here. I had a race with Scar on top and everything. I practice pace and I won that. So I knew I had decent pace, but when I started up in 12th, I was just hoping for the top five. But I had a good start, picked up 4 places in the first 3 corners, and managed to stay with the lead pack, then make 2 moves without taking any risks, as you say, because I just want to take the car to the end, really, and get as much points as I can.
Which is, I think, what's making yourself and your brother, Red Bull, they're just working very clinically in that term. I was saying at the end of the race, if you keep driving like this, I find it very hard for Andy to put a stop to it unless somebody really gets in between you and causes, problems. Because I think if you are both left to your own devices, I'm thinking you get a 1-2 in races, early doors, you'll control just about every race you take part in. From what I've seen, especially over the last few races.
Yeah, well, hopefully we can, but there's a few other incidents happening. I know Ralph in the Chubby Slug will be back up there as soon as they just have a bit of bad luck at the moment. So I'm sure they'll be there to spice things up pretty soon. And JN Tex as well today, great race of him, was it? So I don't think it's going to be plain sailing at all. There's a lot of people who aren't, well, are on the same level as us, if not a bit better even. So just got to hang on in there.
That's it. It's your consistency. As you say, you may not be faster than them, but it's your consistency in the way you're able to just manage the stints. I think that is proven to be crucial in the point scoring. One last thing before I jump onto ENTXG, you seem to have a race long slugfest with Mate, Leon. Do you enjoy that fight?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I did. I knew I was a bit faster than him through the corners with my sector, but his car in a straight line, I just couldn't do nothing with him. So I didn't want to risk chucking a nose in any of them chicanes or anything. So I was struggling to get past him really until he had a bad exit out of the last turn. So I was hoping he could have run DRS then. But yeah, I enjoyed that. It was a good battle.
So very good job on the P3, Leon. Yet another podium. I am sure if you keep this kind of momentum up, there will be many more as the season progresses as well. So good job today, mate.
Thank you, guys.
Jay,
Hello.
P2. A funny old race for you, that, Jay. Where did
Yeah,
you
it was a bit
start?
all over the place. I think I
Yeah,
started in 8th,
and
I think.
the early pace was a bit, eh, but from kind of lap 7, it's like somebody just turned a switch on. And from there, you were able to kind of really build some strong pace for yourself. And I think you get right up to kind of matching Arwen's pace at the front, which I think made the dividends in your performance in kind of the two thirds, second, kind of third and last third of the race.
Yeah, I think the first 7 laps, like you say, it was rough. I think I was just stuck behind people and I just couldn't really make a move. Similar to what Evan said, I don't want to just throw around the move up someone's inside, so it was just kind of being patient, waiting for mistakes, and then coming into the coming into my own towards the end of the stint. So, but yeah, like you said, it came towards the end of the race. It got a lot better for me. Soft felt as good as they should have, and yeah, happy with a P2.
So was that always your plan, Jay? I'm intrigued by the strategy, or was it just with a case of you were watching the hards and they felt good and you knew you could extend, so why not pull them out to that soft tyre and see if anything comes of it at the end?
It was a mix. I was matching my PBs all the way till the last lap before I boxed. The last 2 laps, I think I started falling off. But it was more, I knew I wasn't catching Arwen, so I was like, I may as well stretch it, get softs, and set fastest lap for an extra point. So
So
Yeah, but
it was never an intention to try and get the soft to try and close that gap. You'd kind of just accepted that Alwyn was gone. He's out
yeah,
front, and let's just solidify P2 in that bonus point we get in the fastest lap.
yeah, exactly. And I knew I was going to come up behind um, Leon and Matty as well after my pit stop. So I think softs, is more likely to get around them anyway as soon as possible. And maybe if Arwen has a moment or something, then I have a chance. But yeah.
Yeah, especially on a track where it's very much about exits to get. And I know on most tracks, but there's no real big opportunities apart from turn one on the brakes. But if you can get good exits, you can get a good run beside somebody in a lot of corners here. I think that's where the tyre grip paid dividends.
Yeah, no, for sure, for sure.
But very good job, Jay. Finally, you get a solid batch of points on a Sunday night. I think long awaited batch of points, and
Yeah, I
hopefully
agree,
now
I
some
agree.
momentum from there.
Hopefully, you can bring home some more podiums this season.
So good job on the P2. Very good drive today, sir.
Thank you, appreciate it.
Leon, hello,
Other
sir.
one, mate.
Hello.
Oh, sorry,
There's
Alwyn. I'm a
Other
donkey.
one, mate.
Ah, sorry. It's that brother thing. I just get his mixed up. I just start calling you Evans to make it worse. But anyway, Alwyn, who is going to stop you?
I think there's probably about 4 or 5 that can stop me. I think it's the races just aren't going their way at the minute. I think
Bass,
I'm
see,
getting a lot of.
I think
I'm
you're
not
letting
getting the
yourself
bad luck
down.
that they're getting. I don't think so. But
I don't know. Finishing a race on 80% energy in a 14-second gap, I think you were very, very comfortable. And to be doing that deep in the stint, I think you should take a lot of confidence of just how much of a marker I feel you've laid today in terms of your race pace there. I think that there was the drive of a champion. I know it's early in the season, but you weren't even breaking sweat in the last 10 laps of that race. That says everything.
yeah, I think the first 4 rounds, I've learned that I can battle at the front. I've got the pace, and I'm proving that. I've had a few decent results. Bar rain, that was a bit of a poor result. But since then, I've been finished first on track in all three and got bitten last weekend with penalties. So I've got the pace there. It's just like you say, it's making sure that I'm not getting the bad luck that others seem to be getting.
And you're keeping out of that, which is that just a mental approach? Like, do you just go into every race like I'm just never taking risk? I know there's always. I'm not saying you're just going to sit behind somebody and just accept you're behind them. If opportunity arises, you'll take it. But if there's even like a 10% chance that you feel it goes wrong, do you just avoid it and play the long game?
Yeah, last season I was driving a bit differently, taking risks and stuff, and it never paid off. Or was damaged ring or spun or something. So I think it's much better just to take your time and wait for whoever's in front to get a dodgy corner exit or go a little bit wide and try and pounce that way rather than risk spinning damage, which will set you back 3 or 4 positions and ruin your race. I don't think it's worth it. So that's what I'm trying to do.
Well, I tell you, Alwyn, if you keep that up for the rest of the season, you're going to be a very, very hard man to beat. And of course, tonight is the first night in the championship where you take a firm grip of control of the championship as well. Shiv P4, you were tied going into tonight. I think that gives you over a 10-point lead now for the first time. Right? I
Yeah,
think that's right.
yeah. I think it's just over 10 points. Yeah.
So, the momentum firmly in your favour.
Yeah. I just need to crack on really, and it's exactly. I don't need to take those risks now because I've got like that 10 points. I know 10 points is nothing really. You can lose that in one race, but I don't really. In certain races, I might not have to make that lunge or um, dive bomb somebody in the last lap or something. I don't need to do that now, so I just need to keep a clean race, and hopefully the points will mount up.
Yeah, I think that is the. If you keep that up and you keep thinking like this over the rest of the season, as I say, I think for me, you're probably the strongest looking driver at the moment in P0, just in terms of consistency. Um, Other guys, of course, their consistency has just been hampered by sheer bad luck. I'm not saying that everybody's just having silly moments. Some of it's just bad luck and they can't keep out it. But hey, sometimes you need luck in your favour to win championships, and it is very much on your side.
Exactly, yeah, just need to make the most of it. You know, I know there's about 3 or 4 of the drivers that are sooner rather than later going to be at the front battling with my brother Jay Entex, Matty as well, you know, Rob Wills, Chubby Slug. They're going to be back there soon, so I just need to make the most of when they're getting bad races. I need to capitalise on that.
Yeah, that's exactly it. I wish you all the best as well, Alwyn. A very, very well-deserved another as well race victory, and you're really starting to pile them up. So I wish you all the best for the rest of the season, and very well done on the race victory.
Cheers, Chris.
So on that note, that is us for the evening. I already called it just at the end of the race. Dixie would have been my driver of the day, back at the grid, P5, even behind penalties. I think it's a very, very good effort. No safety cars. Safety car always makes gaining positions a bit easier, but when you've got to drive it, especially at Imola, it's very difficult when there's big trains of cars. So that would have been my driver of the day. So on that note, that is us for P0 this week. Join us next week to watch Arwen and Leon and Jay and the rest to do battle once more. But of course the channel is live tomorrow with some OTL, and it's Imola again, a full week of it. So if you enjoyed that one, I'm sure you will tune in for some more tomorrow. Until then, we will see you very soon.